the Great is losing the Battle of Kolin in 1757. His army is collapsing, officers are screaming, soldiers are rooting. Every general around him sees only chaos and impending defeat. Frederick closes his eyes, mentally ascends above the battlefield, and sees something nobody else can, a gap in the enemy line that turns catastrophe into stalemate. While everyone else is drowning in the moment, he's watching from above. 18th century European warfare. When soldiers are in battle, they see only mud, smoke, the enemy in front of them, and their own fear. It's called tactical hell, the overwhelming immediacy of the present moment that blinds you to everything else. Most generals command from this same limited perspective, reacting to what's directly in front of them. Frederick the Great trains himself differently. He practices a mental discipline. Even in the chaos of battle, he forces himself to detach and view the battlefield from above, like looking at a chessboard rather than being a piece on the board. At Kolin, Frederick's army is being destroyed. The Austrian forces have superior position and numbers. Officers are running up to Frederick with panicked reports. The left flank is breaking. We're being overrun, we must retreat. Every instinct screams to react to the immediate crisis, shore up the left, pull back, save what you can. But Frederick has trained himself for this moment. Instead of reacting tactically, he forces himself into the God's eye view. He mentally steps out of his body and imagines he's looking down at the entire battlefield from 1,000 feet up. From this elevated perspective, he sees patterns the panicked officers can't. Yes, his left is collapsing, but the Austrians have overextended their pursuit. There's a brief window where his reserves can hit their exposed flank. It won't win the battle, but it might prevent total annihilation. Frederick issues orders that seem insane to his officers. Commit the reserves to attack the Austrian left. They think he's lost his mind, they're losing, and he wants to attack. But Frederick isn't seeing the battle they're seeing. He's seeing the geometry of forces from above. His counterattack doesn't win, but it blunts the Austrian pursuit enough for his army to withdraw in some order rather than being completely destroyed. What looked like defeat becomes a survivable stalemate. His officers realized later that Frederick was playing a different game. He had widened his time frame and perspective. While they were in tactical hell, reacting to the immediate moment, Frederick was seeing the long-term strategic picture. Survival today means fighting tomorrow. This mental discipline saves his army repeatedly throughout the 7 Years' War. Frederick's ability to elevate perspective becomes his signature. He loses battles but wins wars because he is thinking in longer time frames and wider spatial frames than his enemies. When rivals see a crisis, Frederick sees a pattern. When they react emotionally to the moment, he's calculating 3 moves ahead. Frederick proved that most people drown in the tactical hell of the immediate moment. Power belongs to those who can ascend to the strategic view and see the wider pattern. The law is short-sightedness, the principle that most people are trapped in immediate tactical thinking while power comes from elevating perspective to see patterns and longer time frames. Frederick demonstrated this law by training himself to mentally detach from battlefield chaos in the exposition. In the rising action, while officers reacted to immediate crises, Frederick forced himself into an elevated God's eye view of the entire situation.